Starting in the West.
Ibakadai. Welcome to the show, everybody. We're here, and what a sensational day it is because, I don't really know why. I mean, the sun is shining here, but if you're listening in, where are you from, Katie?
Alaska.
Yeah, you're probably not in the sun.
Yeah. I hear it's always dark there.
Not all
for like
of it.
6 months out of the year.
That's one spot.
And then vampires run around.
In that spot, yeah.
Yeah.
They did a movie about that.
Yeah. It was true.
Yeah. No, that's why they did the movie.
Yep.
The documentary about the Alaskan vampires.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
Yeah, they found a place where it doesn't get
It's in my
light,
queue.
so they just rule.
Right.
Yeah. But problem is with vampires that just rule an area is they eat everybody and then they got no meat, no blood. They're completely out of blood, and then, they're forced to eat themselves. Never got that,
Eating themselves? Or
Yeah, it's like you're lost on an island, you just keep eating your own shit. Like, there's no way. You got to know that's not going to keep you going.
Is that a thing that people have been known to do?
Oh, yeah. Whenever you're lost, like at sea, and you're in a boat, and you got no food,
Right.
you just poo into your mouth. And pee. And you drink your pee, and you eat your shit.
Families turn on one another and fight to the death
Oh,
over
no,
the
that's
right to eat their feces.
No, if you're with more than one person, then you pull straws on who gets eaten. Because that happened in Moby Dick. I don't know if you guys know that, but Moby Dick, the people that fought Moby Dick, spoiler alert, they lose. But they fought Moby Dick, and Moby Dick fucked their ship up. And then they were just on this little dinghy and for like 90 days. So there was like 5 or 6 of them. One guy died, just lying there. He died. So they ate him.
they should have eaten Moby Dick's poop.
Well, they
Probably
couldn't
would've been
get
big.
it. They couldn't get it. Moby Dick was just fucking with him.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
Crazy
even share his
fucking-
feces?
Crazy whale.
Boy,
Like,
he really was a dick.
he was aggressive, but he also was one of those people that was he took things personal.
Yeah,
know?
okay, so what's the story? You've brought this up like 3 weeks in a
The
row.
hunters of Moby Dick attacked whales because that's what they did back in the. I don't know if you know this, Michael, but in the 1800s, before they got oil out of the ground, they got oil from whales.
Yeah, they were whalers, and like candles were fueled, lanterns were fueled by whale. I still got a little bit of whale in a can in my fridge if anybody's interested.
No, but that's cool.
It's probably expired whale at this point.
I don't
Oh,
think
man.
Does it expire? Does oil expire if it's in a sealed can?
Oil can go bad eventually.
I got a dumber question than that. You ready?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
So, I see on the news, I always have, that America has a deficit
Yes.
and they owe like, $25 trillion or some shit.
Right.
And I'm like, who's the deficit to if we make our own money? And have we ever paid any of it back? Like,
Yeah.
And if we did, what job pays back the deficit?
I sort of know the answers to 2 out of your 3 questions.
Okay.
For the most part, I'm led to believe we make a big deal out of the money that we owe to people in other countries. Pick
Yeah.
the scary country and go, we all owe our money to the Chinese, and one day the debt's going to come due. No, that's not actually true. I think most of the money that we owe to American citizens. People invest in things like treasury bonds. And so, like, you own a piece of, if you have a 401k, probably a part of that is investing in treasury bonds, which is you're loaning the government money and they're paying you interest on the money that you're loaning them. So,
But if there's a deficit, then they can't pay you?
So what they do is if you've ever had a really bad credit card bill,
Yeah.
you keep making the minimum payment, but
Yeah.
the balance doesn't really go down.
Yeah.
It's like that. The government keeps paying the minimum. So they do. Every now and again, you'll hear about a government shutdown is looming, and it's because we're going to default on our debt payments.
So, are you saying that America has never not paid the minimum?
I think it has happened once or twice, and that's when they have these government shutdowns, and all of a sudden, like, park rangers don't work for a week until the two sides can find, well, if the Republicans would just, well, if the Democrats would just, okay, the government shutdown is averted. We figured a way to paper over the budget yet again to service the debt to make the minimum payments.
But sometimes that fails, and then they actually pay back some of the debt, or not.
No, I'm saying they're always paying back. They're always making
But it's the
minimum, yeah. And every now and again, you will hear about at both. You're talking about the federal government. Every now and again, there will be a surplus, and we'll talk about what do we do with the surplus. And usually, part of that is, hey, why don't we pay a little bit more than the minimum?
Do we? Have we?
Yeah, I'm sure there have been times where we've paid a little bit more.
That's
than
a
the
good
minimum.
idea.
But it does continue to. The numbers are so big that I think at a certain point, politicians realized nobody even cares. Because when the debt hit like $1 trillion, people were like, that's bad, right? That's real. I mean, $1 trillion. I didn't even know there was that many dollars. Oh shit, we got to do something, right? But we didn't do anything, and the sky didn't fall. So then $1 trillion became $3 trillion, and people are like, trillions. We just owe trillions. And then like $3 trillion became $25 trillion. And as one senator famously put it, $1 billion here, $1 billion there. Next thing you know, you're talking about real money.
Yeah.
And he knew that he was joking when he said that's a ludicrous statement. I've looked into this any number of times. I'm not a math person. I'm not a money person. Lord knows. But I've heard it said that the amount of debt that we have just goes to show how strong our economy is and how trustworthy we're considered, because people wouldn't keep lending the government money if they didn't know that fundamentally the U.S. government and the U.S. financial system was super strong. So,
man, I hadn't thought about those bond thingies in a while. Like when I was a little kid, sometimes I had relatives that for my birthday would get you those fucking, oh my God. It was, when I was like super young and I still needed like a lot of things explained to me. Like I would open up
now.
No. Now I know everything.
Yeah. Exercise for one.
But like I open up a birthday card and I'm like, what's this weird looking money? And my mom would be like, oh, well that's if you hold on to this thing for like 45 years, it'll be worth $20.
Yeah.
And my 5-year-old brain was like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
You stick it in a bank deposit box.
Like, holy shit, what a terrible thing to do to a child.
Do you have it?
I'm sure I lost all of them.
Good one. It's probably worth $20 now.
Yeah, I could have bought a fucking Sega game.
You could have got a sandwich delivered to your house. One sandwich.
Yeah.
Hey, what a wild thing.
Yep.
Seems like, I don't know why they bring it up so much. Because, like, we're not going to pay it. And you're just making me feel pressure.
Yeah.
Like, I owe fucking $23 trillion. Or somebody that works with me owes 23 trillion. I don't want to know. I don't want to be friends with the guy that's in debt 23 trillion.
Well, maybe I helped out by losing all of those bonds. Now the government doesn't have to pay them.
You probably did take a little off the top, so thanks for that, bro. Right.
I'm a true American hero.
Like, whenever you look it up, it's like every family's share of the national debt is like $150K each. And then,
not a lot of people can pay that.
No, not a lot of people would pay that.
Then there's that too.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to give anybody that.
Yeah. And it's weird because you go, oh, well, this is just something rich countries do. But there are, we're a debtor nation. We're in debt.
Yeah.
There are creditor nations, like Germany, for example. Germans are famously incredibly prudent with their money.
Yeah.
Germany has savings. They don't have a national debt.
Wow.
They have national savings.
I thought they didn't have that much money. They were kind of bummed.
No, they're doing okay. Like,
Okay.
The European Union was having this whole meltdown for reasons that are too boring to get into. And the whole idea of the European Union is we're all like kind of a team now. But one of the inherent flaws is Italians are like, hey, I'm going to go spend some money. And then all of a sudden they go, hey, I don't have it. Hey, look at this. My pocket. It's empty. Hey, Germany, give me some money. European Union. And Germany's like, 9.
Let me fish you.
And it was this whole thing where it was like Italy's economy is going to go under unless Germans bail them out. And Germans are like, well, fuck them. We saved our money. And they didn't. But they go, yeah, but you're in a union. If Italy's economy goes under, they drag you down with them.
Oh.
So the Germans were like, fuck. So Germany had ultimately.
Italy.
It's a little oversimplified, but not really. Yeah.
So do you think because you're not in debt, the country's not in debt, you're more inclined to fist your friends?
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Because I feel like that's the problem with America is
No,
the deficit's so
no
big.
safety net.
Yeah, we don't feel comfortable with just fisting our friends.
I think universal health care also has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
What if
I
this
lived
goes
in a
wrong?
country that had that.
It must have been terrible.
No. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. If you go to the doctor, they take care of you.
And the socialist doctors would expressly discourage you from believing in God?
Oh, nobody told me to believe in God.
Yeah, every time you went for a physical,
there
did you
you
have
go.
to step on a Bible?
No one told me that I had to say any prayers. They just saw me.
Yep.
And then they would give me pills or stitches. One time, remember at a Christmas party, I fell down a hill and fractured my skull and woke up in the bushes in the dark. And then I went to the hospital and I had fucking hair back then. You had a full lock, so there's a huge gash in me back of my head. That's why I've got that weird deformed lump on the back where I snapped my back of my head open. But they sewed it up, and then I left.
That
No
sounds
one's
terrible.
Said anything about praying to anybody or on Bibles, and I believe I did not pay
Yeah.
because I had Medicare. It's called.
Yeah. I got sick.
Yeah, get a card. It's like a card, like a credit card, but it says Medicare, and then you can go to any doctor or hospital, and you're good.
Yep. I got sick, probably food poisoning in Japan. An ambulance came and took me. They gave me a bunch of IVs. I think the bill was like $150.
Yeah.
I don't even live there. I don't even think they thought I lived there.
Yeah.
You sure tricked them.
My kid got sick there. Turned out he was allergic to wheat when he was a baby. We found out the hard way, the soy sauce way. Took him to the hospital. I don't think there was any bill at all because he's half Japanese. That's good enough for them.
Oh. That's cool.
Is he still allergic to wheat?
No, a lot of kids get that and outgrow it. Thank God, because a wheat allergy it's tough. Katie, you wouldn't know anything about that.
No, I've never almost shit myself.
Man. Didn't need that.
It's in a lot of stuff, right? Like there's all the shit that you think about, but then there's a bunch of shit that you would never think
They
about.
sneak it in things that do not need it.
Right, increasingly.
I wonder if I have a wheat thingy. Because
You got
I'm
a
always
lot of
pooping
thingies.
myself.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
I wonder.
Yeah.
Because like now that I'm in the clear and it's like, whew, I don't have skin cancer. It's like, well,
Remember
now
when
on to
you
the
were on
next
the
thing.
show and you said for sure you had cancer?
That's what they were making it out to seem. She was like,
is that a
she's
sentence?
like, that looks like it, like cancerous. Let's freeze it a couple of times, and if it doesn't fall off, I don't like your chances.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about you were going to have no nose.
Yeah,
So you're going to have a nose?
I get to keep this fucking beautiful honker.
That doesn't help the show at all.
So
No.
they took a second slice.
Yeah, they deli sliced the same wound.
Yeah, and said you don't have
sent
cancer.
that off. Yeah, and they're like, you don't have. It's not cancer. It was like a collection of inflammation cells or some shit. I don't know. All I heard was you don't have cancer, and then the rest was Charlie Brown's parents.
Right.
Because I was just like, fuck yeah. But now that that's taken care of, now I'm thinking a lot about my ass.
You've got cancer in your ass.
Maybe
Maybe it's AIDS.
I have a horrible asshole, and
I don't know if it's that horrible.
I appear to have a headache in it a lot.
What do you mean you have a headache in your ass? It's
Like-
a fucking ass ache. Where's your head?
You know when you
Do you have a head in your anus?
kind of
Where? Where would you call your head of your anus?
perhaps my ass clit.
Oh my god, you have an ass clit?
What?
Yeah, I got like a little knob on there. It's bad. I don't like it.
Wait, you've got a clit? Maybe you're a hermaphrodite.
Yeah.
That would explain your tits and your fucking pathetic athletic abilities.
Do you ever flick?
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
You,
For the first time
you
ever,
just,
I feel like we should cut that out.
you just pissed off all the hermaphrodites listening.
And women. Like you can't play sport. That's bullshit. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, ladies. I didn't mean that.
Do you ever flick the ass bean?
No,
Wow.
it doesn't work like that.
I guess that is the next question. I thought we were gonna. I had a few more before that, but yeah, do you flick your ass bean?
It doesn't work like that. I wish
Have you
it did.
tried?
I mean,
The answer is yes.
yeah. I've never
Because
been
it's
like
that-
jacking off and then be like
Is it that clitty that you had to try it? It looks like a clit.
I've had it my whole life, so
Can
I never
see it?
I don't think we want to cross that bridge.
Can I take a photo of it and like just edit out your hole and show me the clip button?
Okay, I'll describe it for you.
Oh.
You ever seen like an?
Are you embarrassed that we'll see your engorged ass, Livia?
I am a little bit. I'm very sensitive about it.
That's fair enough if it's engorged. I don't want to. You know what I mean? That's scary to all of us.
You ever seen an earthworm after a rainstorm and it has like that one thick bump in the middle?
No.
Oh, come on.
What? I'm a fucking insect specialist. Like I
No,
don't.
but you've seen an earthworm where they have like the fat bit.
A worm.
Yeah.
Like it kind of looks like they have a Band-Aid on.
Yeah. So if you looped an earthworm in a circle, that's kind of what my butthole looks like. There's just like one, like a nipple on it.
I gotta go.
Now I really want to see your butthole.
I've actually seen like people in porn, and I'm like, oh, they got a fucking butthole like me. Look at that.
So it's not rare.
I don't think so.
Can you hold the bean?
Wait.
Can you
It's like
hold
a-
your ass clit and like pull on it? How many inches?
Kind of.
How many millimeters is it coming off your?
Not many. It's not obscene.
Is
How
it big?
frequently in porn do you see other people with earthworm anuses?
Yeah. Good point. Have you seen a clit ass before?
1 in 10, maybe.
All right, but you have seen them.
I've seen it. But like, you know when you take like a power shit and then your butthole hurts for a little bit afterwards?
Not really.
No.
I think you guys are fibbers.
A power shit where my asshole hurts for a while afterwards.
Bearing in mind, this is the same guy who claims, and I believe him, that sometimes he can tell the poop is too big for his butthole, so he can actually.
Oh, he
like,
chops his poos in half.
he
like he's got a fucking Ginsu knife in his anus.
like the same way a constrictor swallows things that
Yeah.
are just about too
Yeah.
big for it to
Yeah.
eat.
You like knead the dough,
Oh,
compound it, make it smaller.
Oh my god.
No one.
I was just kidding about all of these things that I've said.
Yeah.
When you constrict and knead the poop dough at the end, since it is a tight squeeze,
Man, what the fuck?
your ass bean leave a groove.
Oh, yeah. Does it? Yeah.
I've never checked for a divot, but I don't
Is there
think so.
like a trough like Luke flew
Yeah.
through to blow up the Death Star?
Is it like a slash, like when you pull out the poopy bag of a prawn? There's like a big carving down your turd.
No, it's soft. It doesn't leave like marks.
Oh, it flexes with the dookie.
Yeah.
Right. Ass clit Kraft.
But yeah, my butt does hurt a lot.
Do you think it's because it might be a little bit of a vagina?
I'm worried. Well, it could also be because I did have hemorrhoids once.
Right.
Sometimes when they come back,
Is
they're
the clit
internal.
a hemorrhoid scar?
I don't think it is because I've had it my whole life.
You were when you were a little kid, you had a poo clit.
The first time I ever saw my butthole.
You were freaking out.
Well, no, because I had never seen any other buttholes to compare it to.
You saw like a vagina in a magazine. It was like, wait a minute, my asshole looks exactly like that.
No, I think it was when I started seeing assholes. I was like, "Where's their bean?"
Oh wow, that must have been a shock.
Yeah.
Like when you realized that you had a deformed anus.
Yes.
Because how many buttholes did you see without the bean before you realized that you're the deformed one?
I think on my first one.
You just assumed that everybody else's asshole looks like that guy's asshole,
Yes.
not yours. Right.
I think your ass is the chosen one. If it makes you feel any better.
Yeah.
Well, that's a responsibility I don't want.
Well, it's too late now. You've got it. You should use it to do something like positive.
Yes, with great power comes great responsibility.
Right.
Well, if it shot webs, I would go fight crime.
Yeah.
But it kind of just leaks poo on me.
Right. Do you think that you leak shit out of your ass because your butthole's so fucked up?
That could be an explanation.
Wow, you consider that could be an explanation. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that bit in my
And you have,
stand-up
like-
act is a true story. Like, I really did go to the doctor one time because I was like, all right, this is a fucking mess. My ass is, like, on fire. It's irritated. It's red. Like, what if this is butthole cancer? And the guy did look at it and go, whoa. And then he was like, stop getting fucked in the ass. And I was like, damn it.
Do you think maybe aliens came down and raped you? Because they do that. They probe people.
Like, they probed me when I was young and my
Yeah.
butthole was so small that they fucked it up.
Maybe they implanted an unborn tiny little alien
Ooh.
baby, and that's you don't actually have an anal clit. You have
It's a spaceship.
yeah.
It's like nope.
Maybe
It is a little quado-y.
like maybe there's something in there that talks to outer space and it lives. Maybe it goes out and probes people, but it actually lives in your anus. Always has.
Do you ever wake up on your face in a prone position?
Mm. Do you ever wake up with your face in a pillow on your knees?
No, I only do that if I have a stuck fart.
Wait.
Because if you get your ass above sea level, if you get your ass above your head, the gas will bubble up to it and come out easier. It's a good technique if you ever have a stuck fart at home.
I feel like I've seen him do this.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have. You have.
My buddy taught me it when I was like 20.
Yeah, did it not work though? Didn't we have like a show where we were doing farts on command and you were trying to do that and you couldn't fart?
You can't like create one out of nowhere. It's almost like cloud seeding. Like there has to be a cloud first.
Yeah. You can't get a fart stuck. It's just once you have the stuck fart, this is the method for getting it out. A lot of people don't know this. Mainstream media doesn't want to tell you how to get your stuck farts out.
That's what we're here for. Have you ever done like a butthole Kegel and been like, ooh, that's a little sore?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
Where is it sore when you do a butthole Kegel?
And not in a hemorrhoidy way.
It probably is a hemorrhoidy way, but in the ringus, like just like Kegel it, and then you're like, that's like a tiny bit sore.
No.
Like a mild bruise.
No, my anus is fresh like a daisy. See, mild bruise, to me, that's hemorrhoids.
I feel like my butthole's been a little bit sore the day after, you know what I mean, something going up there. But I know what that is.
Yeah. It's like it's like going to the gym. They always say there's soreness and then there's pain. You can't play through pain. You can play through soreness.
Yep.
So this is sore.
Yeah.
Permanently.
The mild bruise thing.
For the most part.
To me, if anybody ever wanted to know what mild hemorrhoids are like, it always, to me, felt like if you had like a pebble in your shoe.
Yeah, I got a pebble in my ass.
Yeah, that's hemorrhoids.
But it's always there. Because I got roids, but they go away.
It's not ever present. I would say on any given day, if you were a gambling man, you could bet that my ass hurt a little bit.
Have you had the doctor look at your anal clit for cancer?
I'm clenching now, and there's no pain, so today's a good day. But no, when I showed that guy my asshole,
that was the deleted third verse from the Ice Cube song.
That would have been cool. He fucked up.
That guy really was like, you have to stop getting fucked in the ass, and I'm like, well,
he was joking though, right?
No. Like we brought this guy up so many times. He says the same stuff to Tully every time he goes.
Yeah.
He didn't say fucked in the ass. What did he say? Gay sex?
Yeah.
All right.
And I was like, well, okay, I don't have gay sex. He's like, sure. And I'm like, okay.
We're on the intersection of Fountain and La Brea. You want to look me in the eye and tell me again you don't get slammed in the butt on the regs?
Yeah. It is weird. He's got a point. You are an odd fellow for not being butt fucked in that area. As far as I know, everybody that lives there gets butt fucked constantly.
All right. So no cancer. How many times in your life? Can you name all the locations in your body that you were positive were cancerous that turned out to not be?
Yeah.
Yeah, ho! I think you got cancer in your brain.
Yeah, since we've had this show, you've had cancer at least 5 times. At least.
I mean...
Tully, you had cancer, right?
I was pre-cancerous, although retroactively I might not have been. Might not have been. But like, there's medical documents for me that say pre-cancerous.
I thought I had ball cancer when I was younger. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I got checked for ball cancer because I did have a growth.
That's right.
Oh, that lady was so nice.
What did it
When
end
she
up
was
being?
touching your balls?
I forget what it's called. There's a right where the tube goes into the ball.
It's benign.
There's
that means.
that like right where they meet. That area can get kind of swollen.
Is that the vas deferens?
I think that is the vas deferens. And I talked to my like 90-year-old proctologist, and he said, it's good you're checking yourself because not everybody would even catch that. He said it's common for people in their 30s to the point of almost being considered normal. But sure, you found a lump. Let's go check it out. And I remember it was so unusual because it's this cute black chick who was listening to live Dave Matthews Band.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, there's just not a lot of black women who like Dave Matthews that much.
Yeah, that's a
There's
unicorn.
there's a black guy in Dave Matthews, right?
There is, yeah.
Did he die?
Did he?
Nah, it's Bruce Springsteen's guy. Sorry.
Clarence Clemens his nephew is now playing with the E Street Band.
Whoa.
Yeah, but she gently massaged my balls. It was like there was mood lighting, there was warm goo. I loved it.
Turned up.
Oh, yeah, that guy. I got the warm goo when they ultrasounded my balls.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I've never gone to a proctologist, though.
5 out of 5. Highly recommend.
How did you get in there? Because I know you have to know a guy. You have to grease some palms.
So,
Like, what happened to your ass that brought you there? The hemorrhoids?
I think it was that I went to my general practitioner and I said I noticed a lump on my nuts, and she said, okay, go see this guy. And then he was like, hey, I'm gonna retire soon, so let me just check your ass before I go. 'Cause
So they
I don't know how
usually
many
say.
more of these I got.
You fell for it.
Yeah, he was so old and decrepit, and and so I got my ass checked, and then they told me I'm 45, so now I need to go get the colonoscopy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Have each of you guys had that?
I've had it.
I got the other end. I want the butt end.
It's casual.
Because I think they did find polyps when they went in to check me for, what's it called? Like heartburn shit.
Yeah. Oh, I see. That's right. Yeah, you got the other thing. I've gotten that as well. So I went back to my doctor and I said, okay, you told me I need a colonoscopy, right? So send me the referral and I'll go do it. And she wrote back and said, since you're healthy and you don't have any indicators right now, instead we're going to send you a home poop test. So I got to do that last week.
That's cool, man.
Another time I actually got to collect my poop and mail it somewhere
Wow.
for a test.
Look at that.
That was a treat. That was a weekend-long saga. That's a whole other
Shitting
story.
in a bag is weird.
This time, it was weird because they didn't want the actual poop. You were supposed to poop and then not wipe and then take these brushes they supplied and brush your poop and then...
Out of your ass crack.
No, out of the
Oh.
toilet.
Oh!
And then brush like you're painting with watercolors on this little swab thing that they provided.
Yeah.
But I had to watch the video because they're like, brush your poop, but don't get poop when you brush it. And I'm like, how can I brush the poop and not brush poop?
Yeah.
And nobody was, so I was like, okay, you guys, you're the doctor.
Yeah.
So I brushed my poop, and lo and behold, I just brushed water on the swabby thing just like they said I would. And then I mailed my paint poop water somewhere, awaiting results.
That's awesome. You had to be like a doo-doo Bob Ross.
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't have to do the colonoscopy unless they find evidence of malfeasance.
I feel like they should let you. Fucking Ryan Reynolds did it, and they found, like, fucking barnacles in his ass.
Why are you such a medical procedure groupie?
Because I'm
not
fucking...
I did my thing. Okay, so remember our friend Catherine who sang with Tigerbox?
Oh, yeah.
So she's a lab technician. Remember, she called us on, I think, a Patreon show and talked about looking at, like, actual cancer specimens. She reached out to me and sent me a DM when they lost your sample the first time around. And long story short, she said people who are on top of their shit, typically, even if you have cancer, the very act of biopsying it is removing the cancer. The people who tend to get fucked with skin cancer are either people who don't have health insurance or people who choose to not take care of themselves because they're, like, afraid to.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just let shit get out of control.
That's a little bit what I'm having with my ass. Like, it took so much to show another man my asshole.
Mm.
Like, I had to really be convinced that I was dying to make myself that vulnerable. And I am very ashamed of my ass. And just when he was like, can I bring in a med student? And this fucking, like, gorgeous Indian girl came in and had to look at my ass, too.
Mm.
Like, that traumatized me. I don't want to go back. I don't want to show anybody else my asshole.
You gotta own it, man.
Yeah.
It's your anus. It's their job. So even if it's not a very good looking ass, it's their job to take a good look at it. And on the scale of ugly asses, think about it, man.
Yeah, come on.
There's no way your ass is in the top 10. Think about old people.
Yeah,
Gravity.
their ass probably sucks.
Like people that don't maintain and are old.
Yeah, just
What
like
about out of shape, old, and don't maintain?
Right, go to the DMV
Yeah,
and look
think
at all
about
those
seeing
people.
those people's anus holes. They see dingleberries 3 to 5 times a day.
Oh,
Yeah, because some people can't even get to their anus correctly.
that's true.
You know?
Yeah, Bubba the Love Sponge always used to say his wife had to wipe his ass with towels.
Well, she left him, so imagine what his asshole looks like now.
Yeah,
I bet you he's showing it because he's got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Kind of. I don't know.
I saw a lady this weekend. I was at a pool, and there was this woman that she was so big, like over 300 pounds for sure, that she had like rolls that was almost like the way your rib cage might look, or if you had abs, but it was just rolls folded on top of each other, cascading down her sides, and she was wearing a bikini.
Yeah.
And there was a little water slide for the kids, and she went up with behind her kid, and I thought she was just going to provide moral support.
She went down it.
She didn't just go down it, dude. There was like a little like pole on top, and with no warning, clearly the kid knew this was her move, but I was completely unprepared for this. She put her arms on it and
swung down,
and then boom,
yeah,
like she skadooshed,
shotgunned it
her kid down the water slide.
Yeah.
If that lady is not ashamed to shake what she's got in a bikini at a pool, what's your anus got to be ashamed of?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I should go show it to somebody.
Show that world your butt clit.
Yeah. Did she go fast down the slide?
Oh, she went with the kid. They fucking flew.
Right.
That was the whole idea.
Yeah.
It's like that scene in Christmas Vacation when he sprays the bottom of that sled and
Yeah.
just lightning bolts down the hill.
Yeah.
Katie, remember when we took the kids to that one hotel and I went down the water slide because Tiger wanted me to, and that old man was walking by, and I hit I guess it was more of a kid's water slide.
It
so
was.
when I went down it, when I hit the water, it fucking, because I tried to lift my shorts off the ground so I could go extra fast. So when I hit the water, it was like shaboof, and the big bomb of water like flew out, and this old guy was walking by, and it was like I went over him. He got hit by a wave of water, and he wasn't dressed to go in the pool.
Nice.
It's pretty funny.
That's great.
Yeah, vacation, man.
All I ever wanted.
I think being hit with a big thing of water is pretty cool when it's summertime.
It's a pretty harmless
Yeah.
offense. Like there's the 1980s thing where like the beleaguered hero is starting the movie and they're like, taxi, taxi, and then somebody steals her taxi in New York City, and then the car pulls away and it hits the puddle, but it's dirty New York City rat water, and then that sprays on them. Yeah. And they were all dressed up for their big job interview that day, and now they're covered in New York City puddle rat water.
Yeah.
Not cool.
No.
Pool water, when you're already at the side of a pool anyway.
Yeah.
This is a tragedy plus time equals comedy, and you're 10 minutes away from having a good laugh with that.
Yeah. I've seen some, I saw a video the other day of a lady being super angry at a man that was by the pool. Everyone's by the pool, and the man had his music on. And she did not like his music, so she tried to tip him over. But he was so ridiculously fat that she could barely lift his feet off the ground. But it was weird to... There's a lot of... I feel like a lot of people these days, crazy people, want to make citizens arrests. I just wish everybody would butt out, you know? Like the e-bikes. People don't like e-bikes. Sometimes e-bike people drive too fast on the boardwalk. I've seen it. I'm not going to stop them. You know, it's going to be a weird thing to be like, excuse me, you need to stop. It's like, what? Just, you know, like there's levels to this shit. If he's really doing it, you know, I just never seen anybody do it where I'm like, that guy has about 5 more seconds before he wrecks somebody. It's usually just, his e-bike's going faster than normal. But I've never seen anyone hit anybody. I saw a rollerblader slam once, and then a bicyclist ran him over. And I was just like chilling in my golf cart looking at the ocean, minding my own business, and then that happened right in front of me. Things like that make me think there might be a God.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was just, you know, soul searching a little bit, and then that happened right in front of me. It was like immediate cheer up, you know? I was like, man, life is good, you know?
Yeah.
Because fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, fuck you. In the nicest way. Like, not aggressive. You know what I mean? I'm from Australia.
Sure.
Fuck you can be mellow, you know? It's like, fuck you. You rollerblade and a bike ran you over. That's funny. Suck a butt.
Speaking of Australia, Aussie police are hunting for a man who is at large.
Oh, shit.
And I think it's like he posted bail and then skipped out on a court date.
Oh, no. He's easy to find.
Well, they've been looking everywhere for him, and they're asking the public to help them find.
Holy shit, man. That's a tattoo?
He may...
Or is that marker?
He may have gotten a haircut, or he could possibly have changed his shirt, which would make it harder.
That's a tattoo.
To find the guy with the blue face with the beast
that is
across his forehead.
Fucking so gnarly.
Yeah, and even like the graffiti style font of beast across his forehead is piss poor. Like, man, if you're gonna cover your entire face in tattoos, at least go to somebody who's gonna do a good job. I mean, it looks like he has...
That's a free tattoo right there. He didn't pay for that.
Mascara around his eyes?
Yeah, one eye's got black around the eye. Oh.
That's Jamie Sutton.
He had no chance, you guys.
Better known as Beast.
His life has been tough, you know? Like, what do you think his childhood was like? Had to be bad, right?
Smurfy?
You think it's just a Smurf thing?
Yeah.
He's just always been into Smurfs?
I think he was raised in a Smurf village.
He's Beast Smurf.
I think what happened was he was led... It's like Elf. It's like the movie. He was raised by Smurfs, led to believe he was a Smurf. They kept him away from mirrors. And then one day he realized he could no longer fit inside his mushroom house or anybody's mushroom house. And he had to confront the painful reality that his entire childhood had been a lie. And
Poor
now
Beast Smurf.
He's just trying to desperately, in his own drug-addled way, find his way back to Smurfdom.
You think he did those tattoos to himself? Who would do that to somebody?
Yeah, that guy should stick to painting overpasses.
Like, Katie, you know more about tattooing than I do. That's just like somebody just scribbled it on him, right? Like he did it himself.
Yeah. I feel like if he did it himself, it would be backwards, though.
Yeah, I would be
Oh,
impressed
yeah.
if he could do that.
Yeah, and why didn't he do his mustache? He has like this Hulk Hogan
Yeah.
thing of missing
He probably had a
tattoo.
mustache when he got it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what it is. He forgot he didn't do that bit.
Stupid beast.
Yeah.
So what did that guy do again?
So I'm not really sure what he did initially. He's wanted because he was assault and property damage charges. He was out on bail, and as I say, was supposed to show up for a court date and
Who
flaked
lets
on
that guy go out on bail? You got to keep him in.
Yeah.
When he goes to jail, he'll do good, though.
You think?
He'll fit right in. I think he'll get respect.
You don't think they'll whip his ass?
I think he's a certain kind of crazy that inmates just, they let him hang out.
He could be sort of like their mascot.
Yeah. I mean, do you really want to fuck with that guy? If you have to live with him for like the next 10 years?
It's tough because we read so much into the available information, which in
Seems
this case
determined.
is very, very limited. To me, he doesn't. I could see that guy being like the most annoying guy in jail.
He looks very pouty.
Well, he is arrested.
Yeah. You're usually not at your happiest when you're taking a mugshot.
Yeah.
Why the long face, Beast?
Yeah. I bet you had a different face when he was getting Beast tattooed on his forehead.
He was.
He thought it was
pumped
a good
then.
idea for sure. That's how that starts.
Yeah, right. There's got to be that moment when it's done, when he looks in the mirror.
And goes, hell yeah.
Ah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'm a beast.
Yeah.
Smurf.
Nobody's doing this.
He's right.
He's half right.
Nobody has that tattoo get up, as far as I know.
Maybe he liked Avatar.
Do you think he wears like a hat? Like, what is it that you would wear to make you not look like that guy?
A ski mask at all times.
I'm picturing
That'd be
that
suspicious, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
he's got a fedora and like a Geraldo Rivera mustache.
How big of a mustache? Let's go. He goes full beard,
Yeah.
and he wears a hat and sunglasses. What about? Because in Australia, you can put a zinc sunblock on, just pretend
Oh,
you're going
yeah.
to cricket.
Yep.
So beard, sunglasses, and the zinc stuff.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, you can zinc the nose and
Yep.
you can zinc the bags under
Yes,
your
you
eyes.
can.
So he's got a decent amount of coverage
He
there.
just pretend he's going to the cricket match for the rest of his life, and he'll be free.
He can do the hat with a bandana. People double up.
Right.
Yeah. Good idea.
Well, it's almost Halloween time, so he could kind of like go.
Just wear a mask.
He could go Dr. Moreau and ride that out for at least a month.
Elton John sunglasses.
He could do it.
I think the Beast is going to be just fine.
Yeah.
He's going to figure it out.
Yeah. Watch out at the cricket, though. You could be standing right next to him. Yeah.
You came across a classic video that I have not seen in some time, starring one of the all-time icons of the screen, Orson Welles.
What movies was he in? Because he's old.
Orson Welles is super old. So for a guy who's one of the most legendary people of all time, he's sort of like the Marlon Brando of directors, where he's like one sort of considered the greatest of all time, but also sort of only did like 3 things.
What did he do?
Citizen Kane
Oh, okay.
is still often regarded as the single greatest movie ever made.
That's a pretty good look.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think it holds up for something that's 7,000 years
black
old.
and white?
Yeah.
It's technically very impressive. Like the shots, because like there's so much more like tech and trickery available today and equipment. But back then he was, working with bare bones shit, and he pulled off impressive like continuing shots and zooms and shit. I don't know. When I watched, it's been a long time since I've seen Citizen Kane, but I watched it just because, like, well, I guess you're supposed to if you love movies. And I remember being kind of bored by it.
Who's in that? Is it Humphrey Bogart?
Orson Welles.
It's him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, he starred in it.
Yeah.
And he directed it.
Yeah. And he was like 24 or something.
Very
fat?
young. He was a little like young Vincent D'Onofrio-y. He was like, got a little bit of pudge, but he definitely ballooned up as time went on.
You know what? He kind of is like DiCaprio-y, where he kind of just looked like an old baby.
Yeah.
And then he did a couple other, like The Third Man, shit that, film buffs are all about. The second most famous thing that he ever did was the big April Fool's War of the Worlds thing.
He did War of the Worlds.
He did a radio broadcast where they presented it as if it was, they did a reenactment of it as if it was really happening, and didn't supposedly warn people ahead of time that it was just a joke. And I think that the hysteria that it caused has been blown out of proportion. I think most people listening were in on the joke, but there were definitely a small but real number of people who like called the cops and started freaking out and thought aliens were invading Earth.
Like when you say you hate Canadians, some Canadians believe it.
Yeah, exactly. There's always a small percentage of incredibly dumb people listening to things on the radio.
People think I'm actually gay.
Exactly.
They don't know it's a joke.
Right.
It's an ongoing joke.
There's no accounting for
Straight
people.
as fuck.
Right.
Yeah, I actually have a very normal butthole.
Yeah. No, it's all just for entertainment's sake.
So, at a certain point, despite being a legend, he became like kind of unemployable. And I think he was personally difficult to work with, and I think he also developed a bit of a drinking problem.
Yeah.
Aren't there like legendary outtakes of him recording like a commercial?
Yes.
Like a radio commercial.
Yes.
And just being such a fucking diva and making life hell for the guy in the control room. He's like, the guy's like, or Mr. Wells, we need to do another take. Why? What was wrong with it? It was perfect. It was perfect. I believe there was just like what kind of a noise? What noise? It was a bit of a gonk. A gonk. Tell me, what is a gonk? What is this gonk?
Oh, wow.
Just really busting this guy's balls.
Yeah, I don't know if I've heard that before. So it turns out by the end of the line for Orson Welles professionally and personally, he was making almost all of his money endorsing things because he had this gravitas and this voice. So he did ads for Carlsberg beer, Domecq sherry, Sandeman's port, Jim Beam whiskey, some Japanese whiskey, and then a bunch of other products.
Not alcohol, everything?
No, that's and then photocopiers, cameras, flour, shredded wheat, airlines, you name it. And yes, perhaps most infamously, Findus frozen foods.
Yeah, the frozen peas.
Right.
I just looked it up.
I don't know.
Is he drunk for that?
I don't even know if I've ever heard that. We can look that up, but right now we have the notorious and totally delightful Paul Masson ad. So he did a number of Paul Masson ads, and I think he hated doing them. they found him really unpleasant. But the fact was their sales went up 30% when you started doing ads for them.
Right.
So it was just, it worked for everybody. It was a marriage of convenience, despite the fact that he became increasingly unpleasant and it would seem drunk on set while he was filming the
This seems like he's drunk, you guys. Check it out.
It does seem that way.
Why isn't it playing?
Turn camera.
Marks.
102, take 1.
With overlap, action please. Action also, please.
Just do anything?
No, it's sorry, cut. You're rolling.
102, take 2. Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence. There is a California champagne by Paul Masson, inspired by that same French excellence. It's fermented in the bottle, and like the best French champagne, it's vintage dated. So Paul Masson.
102, take 3.
Look at.
Action please.
Champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence. There is a California champagne by Paul Masson, inspired by that same French excellence. It's fermented in the bottle, and like the best French champagne, it's vintage dated. So Paul Masson.
Can we get
Holy shit, man.
Will Pendarvis over here? Can we get Will Pendarvis over here and get him to put on a fake wig and beard, and then drug him?
Right,
And
that's the good bit. Yeah, I was bored of this whole thing until you said that. Yeah, and then drug him. Yes,
And make him do Paul Masson
over and over
ass.
again. Yeah, and then just use them in every episode.
Oh,
I love the second one where he's like, he is over it. Yeah. Did they get a take they could use, or
It
is
doesn't
that no
seem-
wait,
no,
right?
I don't think that day.
No, not that day.
Wow,
Yeah,
balls.
now I want to hear the piece. Yeah, when you just get to where you can't even make yourself give a shit for the money.
Yeah, blacked out.
I think I
Hammered.
found the frozen peas commercial.
Well, I don't
put
get it. Is he drunk on peas, or is he? What's he doing?
He might not even be drunk. He's just fucking.
So
he's
you're
just
saying
real bitchy.
when he's sober, he's even harder to make the commercial.
Yeah, because he's probably cranky.
Yeah.
Because he wishes he was drunk.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or because he was drunk like the night before.
Yeah. Funny how being drunk all the time will do that.
Yeah.
Well, he looks cool as hell in the photo.
Please go there. You really mean that?
Yeah, so in other words, I'd start half a second late.
Don't you think you really want to say July over the snow? Isn't that the fun of it?
If you can make it almost when that shot disappears, it'll make my...
I think it's so nice that you see a snow-covered field and say every July peas grow there.
What?
We know a remote farm in Lincolnshire where Mrs. Buckley lives. Every July, peas grow there. We aren't even in the fields, you see.
I think he's just bitching about the
Talk
copy
about
now, the
growing
way it's
in-
written.
Okay.
What? I don't understand you then. What must be over for July?
When we get out of that snowy field,
When I was out, we were onto a can of peas, a big dish of peas when I said in July.
oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, always. I'm always past that. Yes. Well, that's about where I say in July.
You emphasize a bit in July.
Why? That doesn't make any sense. Sorry. There's no known way of saying an English sentence in which you begin a sentence with in and emphasize it. Get me a jury and show me how you can say in July, and I'll go down on you. It's a stupid in July. I'd love to know how you emphasize in and in July.
Going down on you is a
Meaningless.
I think all
That's
we're
a-
thinking about
interesting
is
comment.
He
Yeah,
isn't thinking.
it's an unusual threat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was my fault. I said in July. If you can leave every July.
But
You
him in
didn't say it.
disco
He said
gear
Yeah.
is
Your
stunning.
friend.
All right, that-
Every July?
Wow, good for him.
He looks like a urbane Sasquatch.
Remember the one where William Shatner did that?
Shatner.
He didn't like what the guy was telling him to say.
I can easily imagine him getting snippy, but I don't know if I know that.
I think I heard it on the Stern Show. Kevin, do you remember it?
It's not ringing any bells. Let me see if I can find. It's auto-completing. When I just type Shatner into YouTube, it auto-completes to outtakes. So there's got to be something.
Yeah, he gets pretty aggressive with somebody.
Shatner loses it in recording studio with junior director.
Yes. That sounds promising.
Yeah, I don't know that I've heard this. The Casey Kasem one comes up all the time.
Yeah. That's a good one.
This is pretty good. From what I remember, he is very difficult.
In the meantime,
anal.
Alec Baldwin and
he's annoying.
Hilaria.
Oh, they are so bad.
Have a newborn.
Oh, what the fuck? Isn't he like 70?
Yeah.
Stop coming in her.
The baby's name is
help me.
Hilaria.
Oh no.
Hilaria's baby Hilaria.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Hilaria's baby Hilaria.
Wow, they've had so many kids that they're running out of names where they just like, I don't know, take a letter off the end of mine.
This one's name is
Balak Baldwin.
Yeah. It's Kralik, Zalik, Malik, Palik.
Yeah. Palik.
This is Rami Malek Baldwin.
Yeah.
Sextuplets.
Hala Palak Baldwin. Or Baldwin.
Hilaria, you see, is Spanish for happy. And
Hilaria is Nas's new album.
All right, Shatner me.
Okay.
In a recording session.
This is a clip of Howard talking about it.
Yeah, let's just take his shit completely.
Yeah.
From 20 years ago.
Can we just simulcast it? What's Howard doing right now?
He's chewing out people. He seems bitter.
A girlfriend was left horrified, she says, after discovering her boyfriend's secret sex doll dungeon.
Cool. Is this a doll like a toy doll or a lady like a rubber lady?
What would be better or worse?
I think if he's having sex with like kids'
Dolls?
toy dolls, that's worse.
If he's like face fucking Cabbage Patch Kids?
Yeah, that's bad.
Agreed.
If you got like a live sex, because I follow a sex doll on Instagram.
Uh-huh.
Every now and then they post new dolls like on the bed with lingerie on and shit.
Oh, Denver dolls.
Yeah. I would fuck one of those.
Yeah, it's an escort service where you can fuck a doll.
Oh, yeah, right. You go and you meet him in a hotel room.
Yep.
They're
Oh,
hot.
they may have been the original, the trailblazers in that field.
Yeah.
I think so.
No, they're hot shit. Their dolls are the best. If I was going to fuck a doll, I would fuck that doll.
Why don't you go to Denver and fuck a doll?
I got a wife. She's got a live pussy. Just saying.
Yeah,
Pretty
well, this
tough
guy
to get an extra one in on a doll, you know?
This guy has a live girlfriend, but he still has 6 sex dolls in a dungeon.
She got a lot of money.
She's been dating this guy for a while, and she said it was like the room in his house that he was like, don't worry about that room. Nothing to see in there. That's just where I keep my...
Yeah.
And then one time, I think he was like sick, and she was taking care of him and getting him medicine and soup, and he was just asleep for hours at a time, and she just saw his keys sitting there, and curiosity got the better of her.
Oh, no.
So she let herself in, and I was met by 6 pairs of dead eyes. His dolls were propped up around the room in various stages of undress.
Oof.
Damn, now I'm still not getting a vibe on what kind of doll it is. They sound like toys.
No, they're sex dolls.
Okay.
She is redheaded. All the dolls were blonde.
I love how she noticed that.
She says she's a bit flat-chested. All of the dolls boasted fabulous, shapely figures. There's a king-size bed, all the dolls, several sex toys, many tubes of lubrication. She said, I had to steady myself because it was like looking into a nightmarish world of sleaze. And then she said a delivery man knocked at the door, so she had to get out as quickly as she got in.
Would it be better if she had discovered that they were all flat-chested blonde dolls?
If they'd all been like replicas of her? I really think girls, after all this time, really do have a hard time believing that guys can have more than one type.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like, I know a guy who used to only buy porn of, like, Latina chicks.
Yeah.
And I've known every girlfriend he's ever had, and not one of them was Latina. And I don't know if the girls he's been in relationships with, how they would feel if they found out that if he's drunk and goes to a porn shop in 1993 and buys a VHS tape, it's going to be huge Latin asses 5.
Right.
It doesn't mean he's not attracted to them, too. Sometimes I want steak, and sometimes I want fish, and sometimes I want chicken. And even if I have a favorite, it doesn't mean I don't really, really, really like the other one. And by the way, you would have just as big a problem with it if I was only with you for superficial reasons and didn't actually like you and didn't actually care about you as a person and didn't respect what you had to say. Well, that's what it comes down to, is ultimately you need to settle on one person that's a complete package, and the odds that they are the exact kind of person that you want to be with, that got exactly compatible, emotional contours, that also has the exact size and shape of breasts that's your favorite, that also has the color hair, that's also the same height.
I like Shirley Temples, but I also like lemonade.
Yeah. Right.
Sometimes I like those Gatorade-y looking ones, smart water with all the sugar in it. I like that too. Mm-hmm. I had a Fuego the other day. Just saying.
Fago.
Whatever. I refuse to get it. I don't. But it was cotton candy flavored. It was fucking fun.
I bought a $10 smoothie right before the show today because I didn't have breakfast that has 22 grams of sugar in it.
Yeah.
What is the goddamn point?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It'd make it tasty, but you'd still put greens in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's better than a Coke.
I think it is better than a Coke.
That's all.
Yeah.
I'm going to go.
Oh, shit.
If you want to see more of the Jason Ellis Show, there's a Patreon, patreon.com/EllisMate, where there's 4 shows a week on there. 4. And then this show. So that's 5. And if you count Hawk versus Wolf, and then Tully's separate show and Kevin's, that's one more show than every show, all shows. More. We've never done more. What a great time to be alive and to know us.
You never need to be listening to anybody but us.
Yeah. So don't do that.
Including your wife or husband.
Yeah. Stop listening to your loved ones and download the show. You already have. Shows, yes. Mm-hmm. All right. Take care of each other. Make sure you kiss the baby and smell the roses. I want to leave you with a video of a lady showing you how grand life can be. Because sometimes all you need is some cement and a puddle to enjoy life. So enjoy this, everybody. Don't die.
Boy.